Hello, I'm Debbie DeWitz Jensen, an international personal empowerment educator, and I'd like to share with you in 5 short video parts a little bit about the science and philosophy behind emotional interference patterns and how they affect our lives. All of us experience negative or unhealthy emotional extremes at times, and at times can feel overwhelming, though for some reasons we do not yet understand. Some emotions do not resolve themselves or process completely. In these cases, they become unresolved and can cause an obstruction within the physical body, sending out a continuous interference resonance that wreaks havoc in our body, mind, spirit. Instead of moving beyond our personal sense of betrayal or insult, or a temporary bout of grief, anger, or depression, this negative emotional energy can remain in our body, potentially causing significant physical and emotional distress. Emotional interference patterns, also known as EIPs, consist of well-defined waveform energies that move in pulse-like waves and can exert a powerful influence upon us. They are created by repressed, denied, and/or unresolved emotions. EIPs are like parasites that can be picked up through our life experiences. They distort and block the natural life force energy of our body. Unresolved emotional interference patterns rob us of our joy, vitality, and block us from fulfilling our deeper potential in every aspect of our life. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by something you can't quite put your finger on? Have you ever been consumed by a past event, feeling the resentment rising and just can't seem to let go of it? Have you ever regretted certain experiences in your life, but felt powerless to move beyond them? Some of the negative emotions you've experienced may still be creating problems for you in subtle, yet very damaging ways, even though you may have felt them long ago. For reasons we do not yet understand, some emotions do not resolve themselves or process completely and become buried in the subconscious mind. Studies in neuroscience indicate that 95% to as much as 99% of our consciousness is actually subconscious. Our emotions create our experience of reality, though much of it is below our level of conscious awareness. Circumstances that often result in the origination of internal emotional conflict are adoption, neglect, abandonment, or rejection, loss of a loved one, even miscarriage, abortion, or giving up a child for adoption, physical abuse, trauma, or injury, mental, verbal, or sexual abuse, divorce or relationship problems, financial hardship, work or home stress, or any long-term stress that we hold, natural disasters, witnessing or experiencing a traumatic or abusive event and feeling powerless to do anything about it, illness, mental or physical, and negative self-talk or beliefs about yourself or others, and the need to gossip. With emotional interference patterns, we lose our freedom, our happiness, our health, and our tendency to love. Rather, we operate from a reality we perceive through our emotional pain, a reality of injustices, which is an emotional poison. The more we deny or repress them, the greater ultimate toxicity, which often takes the form of an explosive release of pent-up emotion that can be damaging to both ourselves and others, or have an adverse psychosomatic effect on our health. Our feelings are always the primary cause of the conditions or the effects in our lives. Out of our emotional reactions to life, we create our beliefs, whether the world is safe or unsafe, whether I'm a good person or a bad person, whether I'm lovable or unlovable. And from our beliefs come our behaviors in life, whether we're calm, steady, level-headed, or insecure, belligerent, or bitchy. Our behaviors create our results in our lives. And then, of course, the results we get, either good or bad, influence how we feel, creating this continuous cycle until we alter it. According to Candace Pert, Our emotions are constantly regulating what we experience as reality. Our emotionally driven subconscious mind has an eerie ability of bringing into our lives people and situations that force us to face and feel whatever we have previously resisted, denied, or suppressed, because that is what is stored there. It is what drives it because that's what it's familiar with. The unresolved emotions are the ones attracted into our life's experiences over and over again until we change this pattern. Feeling itself creates biological changes. Our perceptions, whatever they are, includes all our life experiences and immediately generates feelings and thoughts. Stress is not the events themselves, but our emotional reactions to those events, and it doesn't matter what set them off. Common stressors are time pressure, never having enough time, or the feeling that everything takes too long. Frustration, hostility, blaming others, unresolved conflicts, anxiety, perfectionism, resentment, or the sense of lack of control. At the speed of our feelings, you begin to create biological changes. Changes in hormones, tension in muscles, respiration, and heart rate. If your long-lost friend walks into a room, there is an upwelling of feeling, and biological changes are tracking that feeling. On the flip side, if you see someone who has stressed you out, somehow you perceive that they've done you wrong in some way, there's this sinking feeling, and immediate biological changes of toxicity takes place. It is our right to resent anyone or to love anyone, but if you do it long enough, it becomes wired into your system, into your neural circuits, and highly influences your behavior. The capacity to be resentful or loving is automatic then. And we all know people who are quick to judge, accuse, quick to anger, quick to blame or feel victimized. These circuits have been formed through internal repetition. This model that we are looking at was developed by many at HeartMath Institute and research scientists. What it demonstrates for us is that any new emotion, thought, habit literally creates a new pathway. Why is this important? Because whatever you do habitually, over time, creates neural circuitry, and the way that the brain and the body are hardwired up is the way you perceive. The neurological structure underlies our capacity to access our intelligence. These circuits can open up our ways of thinking and being as much as they can close us off. What have you written there? What doesn't work for you now? Those neural circuits were developed at a time that had meaning and value, but are out of place now in terms of our fulfillment as adults. And how do you go about rewriting this? Because this is the geography of thought and feeling in a very real sense. According to Joseph Sundram of HeartMath, one of the final acts of maturing and evolving as conscious adults is rewiring any unresolved emotion that is still creating a disharmonious emotional charge in our lives. This is the end of Part 1. Please join us for Part 2 of the science and philosophy behind emotional interference patterns and how they affect our lives. We learn how to resolve these emotional interference patterns in Empowered Transformation's 2-day course, Revitalize Your Life Force Energies and Open Your Heart to Greater Love, an Emotional Interference Patterns course. Please visit us at www.empoweredtransformations.com.